The greatest goalie in the world enters a tiny space and compresses his massive body into a plastic chair. A football boot to the face can leave a 3-inch scar on his right cheek. His first English football trophy is resting on a table near him. Within an hour of donning his new team's colors for the first time, Manchester City's Gianluigi Donnarumma won that first piece of silverware. The Italian was named the Premier League Save of the Month for his right-handed stretch that stopped Brian Mbeumo in the Manchester Derby in September. "It's never easy to make your debut, especially in a new league," Donnarumma stated in his first significant English interview. "In fact, I might have been a little excited. However, I believe I handled it nicely." The arrival of Donnarumma on the final day of the summer transfer window likely marked the pinnacle of the change that has gone through Pep Guardiola's City team since the challenges of the previous season. The 26-year-old played a key role in Paris Saint-Germain's Champions League victory last May. Both Liverpool in a penalty shootout at Anfield and Arsenal in a hectic second leg of the semi-final in Paris had bowed to the enormous goalie. From that perspective, seeing Donnarumma in England is unexpected. The captain of the Italian national team seemed to have found a true home in France, precisely 10 years after making his debut for AC Milan at the age of 16. However, Donnarumma's motivations are straightforward. He says he is in town to learn. The role of the goalkeeper has changed significantly, and I'm with Mr. Guardiola now, who can assist. To assist our team advance, I need a deeper comprehension of a few crucial scenarios. Growing up in a bedroom in Naples, Donnarumma saw posters of legendary Italian goalkeeper Gianluigi Buffon hanging on the wall. At halftime of a match against France, Donnarumma, then 17 years old, made his debut for his country by taking his idol's place. To put things in perspective, Buffon had already made his Italian debut 484 days before Donnarumma's birth. That depicts the goalkeeping career in the city in a fairly true manner. He has existed for a very long time, if that seems to be the case. Coincidentally, Saturday is the 10th anniversary of Donnarumma's senior Milan debut against Sassuolo. According to Donnarumma, "I didn't get much sleep before that day. You understand what it's like to be young. Your recklessness all makes it simpler. However, before that, I was thrilled. I was very young." Making your debut at the age of 16 with a team like AC Milan is still difficult, but I believed I could succeed. And now, I'm enjoying my best life, and I will always be grateful to my first coach, Sinisa Mihajlovic, who enrolled me and died in 2022 after a fight with cancer. For me, that was really important. It held the secret to everything. I just want more now that I'm in the city. I am here for that. Because Donnarumma has been a major part of our football lives for so long, we may feel as though we know him. For instance, it has been over 4 years since he saved 2 England penalties to help Italy win the Euro 2020 final at Wembley. However, the self-presentation he gave the Premier League has nonetheless caused many to take notice. When City and Arsenal drew 1-1 in September, it was perfectly displayed. Arsenal's infamous set pieces were but all negated by Donnarumma's incredible aerial domination. Donnarumma admits he has some physical advantages. When we get to the details of his art, he informs me, "I am very tall, and it helps." The City goalkeeper, who is 6'5", is 5 inches taller than Arsenal's David Raya and 4 inches taller than England's Jordan Pickford and Everton. Liverpool's Alisson Becker comes in closest at 6'4". Most importantly, he is 3 inches taller than Ederson, his predecessor at the Etihad Stadium, and that is probably the secret. The City needed someone they could trust with Ederson's hands after admiring his footwork for years. "First and foremost, it's important to make saves," Donnarumma nods. Donnarumma's goal was apparent that day at Arsenal. He came for everything and got almost everything. He once stated, "A goalie must be heard and command the defense. That way they will feel as secure with me as I do with them." When Donnarumma is at his best, it makes it seem easy. Perhaps goalkeepers need to adapt if the Premier League is shifting back towards a focus on set pieces, longer throws, and more direct play. He continues, I try to cover as much space in the box as I can because I'm very tall. It's important to maintain equilibrium and know when to leave your goal line and when to stay put. It's important because exaggerations are never helpful in any situation. So situations must always be handled effectively. My main goal on corners, however, is to support my team because they depend on me to be in the box. Every aspect of the pitch is prepared here at City. We knew that Arsenal is a formidable opponent because of their strength on corners, so the team needs my help. The fact that Donnarumma's contract renewal was not signed contributed to her leaving PSG. Coach Luis Enrique also implied that he needed a different profile, implying that he needed a football player to fill in between his posts. In August, the top goalkeeper was left behind as they traveled to Udine to play Tottenham in the Super Cup. In the past few years, goalkeepers have changed a lot in terms of their footwork. You always try to provide a lot of support with that in the game. To support the team during difficult times when it comes to controlling ball possession, some scenarios must also be thoroughly understood. You can always learn and get better. As I say, Mr. Guardiola will assist me. But you always must be aware of when you can play the ball and profit from that play, and when it's just a risk. Donnarumma will likely assist the City if he comes across as a football player who is comfortable with himself. He lives in the Northwest with his girlfriend, interior designer Alessia, and their small son, Leo. He is not afraid to show off some Instagram photos that highlight the couple's amazing love for Halloween. Oh, that's what we do every year, he chuckles. What about this Friday, then? Yes, we will be doing it, but I won't tell you the costumes. I just wear them after Alessia decides. Not everything has been easy. When he played for Italy versus England at the San Siro, the Italian club supporters actually jeered him for leaving Milan for Paris. On another occasion, the Rossoneri hurled counterfeit dollar bills at him with his face on the front. He doesn't want to talk about it because the subject is still too raw. Thankfully, he left Paris, where he won the Champions League and 4 French championships in a less hostile manner. In fact, Donnarumma sent personal letters in each of his teammates' bedrooms before the Champions League thrashing of Inter. He says, we had some difficult situations with that group, and there had been times in the Champions League where it could have gone wrong like it had before. However, we completely got out of that situation. So I felt obliged to share with them my feelings regarding our experiences together over the course of the season. I wanted them to understand this. I wanted to write them a letter to let them know how much I loved them and maybe give them some inspiration for the game. I wanted to win my teammates' hearts, and they will always hold a special place in my heart. I still consider them my brothers. We know the outcome of the game, and no, it was not because I wrote that letter. But I think that winning that game meant completing a significant circle in our lives and in our season. This interview was done with the help of a translator. The quality of Donnarumma's English is lacking. However, certain concepts are sufficiently easy to understand in either language. He smiles when asked if he feels sorry for shattering English hearts in that Euro final 4 summers ago. He chuckles in Italian, no bene. It roughly translates to, I feel good. Everybody who was there remembers the details of that night. After England's Luke Shaw scored in the second minute, Italy rallied and Roberto Mancini's team won in a shootout thanks to saves from Donnarumma, Jadon Sancho, and Bukayo Saka. Rashford was stopped by a post. Really, playing England at Wembley was really tough, but I believe we could beat anyone. All the home fans were against us, but I think it also motivated us to prove ourselves. And because we had a fantastic game, we did. We had a rough start. England used the stadium. They scored, and we had a difficult time. But I think given the opportunities we created, we could have won the game even in the first 90 minutes. Viewing the game's footage now reveals various oddities. Italy's best player was Federico Chiesa, who was unable to debut for Liverpool. England started Mason Mount, in contrast. The most odd thing, however, is that Donnarumma does not even react when he dives to his left to save Saka's kick and win the cup for his nation. Why? He wasn't aware that it was over. He explains, I had lost count of the penalties. I didn't know that if I had saved the penalty, we would have won. Anything could have happened at that moment because I was so focused on the problem and wanted to help the team with penalties. Jorginho had previously missed our penalty, which infuriated me because it's really impossible or unthinkable for him to miss penalties. I was ready to rejoice when that one came in, although there might have been some shock since it was expected. Yes, I saw everyone running towards me after saving the next one. After I realized, we all joined the celebration. But there came a moment when I really failed to realize that we had prevailed. Since then, Italy's fortunes have been, to put it mildly, uneven. With 78 caps now, Donnarumma might eventually surpass Buffon's staggering total of 176. But the Azzurri have some recent mistakes right after missing out on a World Cup since they won in 2014, losing a knockout match in that tournament since they won it in 2006.